it's not only foreign countries that are being used by this system. It's really anybody in the lower and the middle classes that don't have the means to save in assets. If they're saving in dollars, perhaps they're not getting as rug pulled as other countries, but they're still getting rug pulled, maybe to a lesser extent, but they're still getting screwed. The only benefactors of this system, from my perspective, are the US government and extremely wealthy people that do have the
Extremely
means to
wealthy
save in
people that have
assets.
large holdings of assets that inflate along with the dollar. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, your average person now is going to get hurt because the housing market is it's not going to be like 2008, but it's going to go down 20-25% in my mind. I think it's highly likely that it drops 20 to 25%. That's going to hurt a lot of people. They borrowed against their house in order to fix it up. Think about it. You're sitting at home for 2 fucking years. They had us locked down. You're sitting at home. You're working from home. You're like, well, I got to fix up this office. I can't have these Zoom calls in here. I mean, I did it myself. I can't have these Zoom calls in here while I'm, you know, I've got a dog bed behind me. I mean, like you've got to do some stuff. So you decide, well, I'm going to take out some money. The house is way up. It's fine. I'm just going to remortgage it. Take some money out, whatever. And then all of a sudden you look at it and you're like, oh shit, now I own more on the house than it's worth. Luckily it hasn't happened to me because I didn't take out money off the house. But that's what people are going to suffer through. And we're not seeing the credit card debt rise as much as I thought we would yet. And I think I don't know. I'm going to be very interested to see where this shakes out next year in 2023, because people still have money in the bank. And I don't know if they're so worried that credit is going to get pulled from them, that credit cards are going to shut down their accounts, or that something's going to happen, that they want to keep actual cash in the bank that they can draw from while they borrow on credit cards too. I don't know what's going on there, but it's going to be very interesting in the next year to see how this plays out. And unfortunate, I think it's going to be painful for some people. And so be careful.
Oh man. Okay, so James, how does Bitcoin fixes this? How will the lessons of the past not be forgotten once again?
Yeah, well, I don't know if the lessons of the past will not be forgotten. We're stupid humans. We have this herd mentality, that the fact that we trust the government, trust the fact that so many people just have given up. They're like, oh well, there's nothing I can do. It's the government. If I say anything, they're going to come after me, and they're probably right. I mean, I don't know. So but at some point, people get tired of it. And so there will come a time where Bitcoin separates itself. It decouples from those risk assets. And that's going to take understanding. We've got to get mainstream media to stop beating on Bitcoin because of because it's boring, or because they call it the leading risk asset, and it's acting like that because of that mentality. It's coupled with risk assets right now. The Greenpeace coming out with those stupid videos and those posts about Bitcoin taking up more energy than whatever. I mean, like it's insane. And these people have an agenda, and they think for some reason that humans can be productive without using energy. They're fucking delusional, So once we get that's one part, you get the misinformation, disinformation out of the way, and hopefully with legislation that will help. I think that having legislation and declaring Bitcoin a store of value and a commodity, and having it regulated properly, that's going to help. Having an ETF, a spot ETF approved, that will help. That will help small offices. And a lot of people are like, well, nobody deserves it if they can't figure out how to put it in a wallet. Okay, well, I hear you, but if you want this to be adopted, widespread adoption, it's got to be easier. People have to be able to just look at a screen and know that they own it. And if you can buy a spot ETF that is highly regulated, that shows that you own Bitcoin below that, that if you called it, that there would be Bitcoin attached to that, and you can see in all the wallets exactly where it is, then that's a huge positive. It's going to get family offices involved. It's going to get high net worth people who are just not comfortable with holding their own keys or whatever it may be involved. And that's a huge first step, just to get more capital into the system. And then once you've got five asset managers that control $30 trillion of investment assets. $30 trillion. BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, State Street, and Morgan Stanley. 5 asset managers. Think about that. Now you've got a couple of them already out announcing that they are involved in Bitcoin, that they have products that the customers can buy it, their investors can buy it. And so that's important. And when it becomes a separate asset class for those 5 institutions, game over. Everybody has to own some. There's just no way around it. That's $30 trillion out of $400 trillion of investment assets in this world. Everybody has to own it, period. So that's going to be a huge development, and that's going to start with understanding. So, I'm out there talking to people that I know that are in the institutional space. They're still way behind, way behind the 8 ball. They have no idea what's going on. They think that it's Ethereum and Bitcoin and Hex and whatever. They're all in the same freaking boat. They don't understand it. They think, oh, well, there'll be a new, better Bitcoin. They just don't get it yet. But when they do, when they finally wake up, they're going to see it. They're going to kick themselves, and they're going to buy it at the price that they deserve. And it's going to be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's fine by me.